This is an aftermarket main shaft for a Dodge NV4500 5-speed transmission. In this video, I'd like to assemble the components onto this shaft so that the shaft assembly with the components would be ready to install into the main case. I try to keep this stuff fairly organized. It makes it easier for reassembly later. Components go on from both ends of the shaft. I'll start with the output end. That's this end. And first thing I'm going to put on is first gear. Also has a bearing, and there's a synchro cone here with a synchro. This is a really stiff snap ring. I suspect I'm going to have some trouble with that, getting that on there. And this is reverse gear. It has its own sliding collar assembly, and has a bearing and a spacer and a thrust washer. This is the transmission oil I plan on using, so I've already got that same oil in here for assembly lube. When I installed this gear, I slipped it on with the bearing already in place. So I have a synchro soaking in transmission oil here, and those synchros, they have sort of like a clutch surface on the inside. Here's an old synchro that came from this transmission. You can see that sort of a rough surface there. This is the synchro cone. It goes together with the synchro that's soaking in oil. And now I'm going to attempt to install this snap ring. This is a really stiff snap ring, and I think it's easy to distort it if it doesn't slide down on the shaft nicely. So I was planning on using this piece of ABS pipe. I cut it and beveled the end, and I wanted to use it as a tool. So once I get that snap ring opened a ways and started to slide on that shaft a bit, then I want to use the pipe to help keep the snap ring fairly straight on the shaft and then help move it down. I'll give that a try. So I'll clean this shaft off a little bit and get some oil on there. That should also help getting this snap ring down. Later in this installation, this spacer will be placed right next to this snap ring. On one side of the snap ring, studying the open end, it appears normal. I'll turn the snap ring over, and now the opening of the snap ring appears to be beveled. Well, I'll turn it like this. So the right side of the snap ring on the screen has a rounded edge on the opening. So this is the side that I want to have running together with that soft spacer. If I ran the snap ring this way, then it's more likely that the snap ring itself will damage that soft material of that spacer. So I'll install it this way. Oh, that's stiff. That's going to be a challenge. I just got it started. Well, that was not easy. Now I want to take a little file and just check those edges that I haven't created a little burr that rises up high enough for that soft spacer to contact. So this is that spacer that goes next to that snap ring. Then a needle bearing, a few other parts. But I'm going to actually flip the shaft over now, so I won't be installing this for now. The next area of this shaft gets 4 new snap rings, and I'm just deburring them. This area gets 4 snap rings. I've already got one installed. And there's also some synchronizer parts that go on there as well. So this is a synchronizer cone. Then another snap ring. All right. That looks like it's on there. This is what goes on that cone. It has a friction material on both sides. So this has little tabs on one side, and they fit in these areas. So now it's on that cone. And this piece this is a shift fork sliding collar. It works together with the synchros. And on the back side here, I need to line up these notches here with these areas here on the synchro. So now I would like to install a third out of the 4 snap rings in this area. Okay, that looks like it's on there. Now I would like to install some more synchronizer parts. Well, that's in there. And this works together with that synchro that I just installed. So I'll lay that in next. This is another synchronizer cone, and I can see that it's tapered, and it works together with that tapered friction material. I forgot I actually wanted to lubricate those synchro struts. So this whole thing comes out as an assembly. This is the last of that series of 4 snap rings. I may have to get a different snap ring plier for this one. Oh, it's working.